It was a perfect summer evening in August 2024. The kind of night that makes you forget the world can be a dark place. My backyard in Pinewood Shores, a quiet lakefront community in Oregon, was alive with laughter. Friends and family gathered around my newly built deck, sipping cold beers as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over Lake Crestwood. Kids splashed in the water, their giggles echoing through the warm air. I'm Ethan Caldwell, a software engineer who traded corporate life for freelance consulting. And moments like these made every late-night coding session worth it. But that night, I had no idea a spiderweb of vengeance had been tightening around me for over a year, spun by someone I'd crossed without even realizing it. Her name was Evelyn Harper, though I didn't know it yet. She appeared at the edge of my property like a ghost, clutching a clipboard as if it were a badge of authority. Dressed in sensible flats and oversized glasses, she looked like she'd just stepped out of a community board meeting. But there was something off about her, too confident, too deliberate, like she was playing a role she'd rehearsed 1,000 times. "Excuse me," she said, her voice sharp enough to cut through the chatter. "I need your guests off this deck immediately. It's a violation of community regulations." My buddy Nate, flipping burgers at the grill, froze mid-turn, staring at her like she'd just declared the sky was green. I laughed, thinking she was some overzealous neighbor. "Ma'am, this is my property. No HOA here. You can check the county records if you want." I expected her to back off, maybe mutter something about entitled homeowners. Instead, she smilered a cold, calculated smirk that made my stomach twist. "Oh, Mr. Caldwell," she said, pronouncing my name like she'd been practicing it in the mirror. "I'm the new community oversight chair, and I think you'll find the waterfront rules have changed." She waved her clipboard, filled with official-looking papers that screamed amateur forgery. Then she hit me with something that stopped me cold. "You fly to Seattle every second Thursday for client meetings, don't you? Must be exhausting, working on those cloud sync projects." My jaw dropped. Cloud Sync was a confidential platform I'd been developing for a single client, locked behind NDAs thicker than a phone book. Nobody outside my team knew about it. The party went silent. Nate dropped his tongs. My sister, Lila, whispered, "Who is this woman? How do you know about Cloud Sync?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Evelyn's smile widened, like a chess player savoring checkmate. "I make it my business to know the residents here, especially those impacting property values with unpermitted deck expansions." She flipped a page on her clipboard, casually mentioning my recent permit filings details no stranger should know. My neighbor Clara, watching from her yard, started dialing the non-emergency line. This wasn't a random busybody. This was personal, targeted, and terrifying. That night, my security footage revealed Evelyn had parked across the street for 2 hours before approaching, taking notes and making calls. At one point, she stared at my house with a predatory grin, like a hunter watching prey stumble into a trap. I couldn't sleep, my mind racing. Who was she? Why me? Her words echoed. "You have a pattern of ruining people's lives when they don't bend to your will." It was too specific, too loaded with history I couldn't place. I'm an engineer. I solve problems by breaking them into pieces, but this puzzle had too many missing parts. The next morning, I dove into county records, expecting to debunk her claims with a few clicks. Instead, I found a nightmare. Evelyn had filed 8 easement claims against my property in the last 5 months, each one meticulously crafted, citing real legal precedents. These weren't the work of a hobbyist. They were professional, designed to drain my bank account with legal fees. The county clerk's office confirmed the filings were under review, treating them as legitimate. You'll need an attorney to contest, the clerk said, and I felt my savings account wince. I hired Rachel Monroe, a lawyer specializing in property disputes, knowing this would cost me thousands. Things got worse. Neighbors started sharing stories. Clara got a violation notice about her patio lights. Mike, 2 streets over, received a warning about his boat trailer. Each citation was polished, referencing fake regulations, and designed to intimidate without crossing into clear fraud. Evelyn was conditioning the neighborhood to accept her authority. At a tense meeting in Nate's garage, we pieced together a pattern. She was targeting anyone who might back me in a property dispute. My neighbor Sophie, a retired librarian, brought a notebook with dates of suspicious incidents. We set up a shared drive, organized evidence, and planned to confront her at the community center. The meeting was a circus. Evelyn arrived early, dressed like a corporate executive, her briefcase stuffed with charts and photos of non-compliant properties. She spoke with the confidence of someone who'd spent months preparing, framing me as a selfish homeowner threatening Pinewood Shores' charm. Mr. Caldwell believes rules don't apply to him, she said, her voice dripping with feigned disappointment. I stood up, my anger boiling over. This woman's been harassing us with fake citations, filing fraudulent claims, and even got my professional license investigated with lies. The room went quiet. Evelyn's composure flickered, but she recovered, saying, "Professional misconduct complaints are public record. Anyone can file if they suspect unethical behavior." I tried to de-escalate, driven by a nagging guilt I couldn't place. I visited her rental house, 10 minutes from mine, and offered a deal, stop the harassment, and I'd help her rebuild, maybe write a job reference based on her old work. Her sister, Diane, looked uneasy, but Evelyn exploded. "You think you can play savior after ruining my life?" She spat. "You sent me to prison." That's when it clicked. Evelyn Harper was Evelyn Marie Harper, a finance admin at my old company, TechWave Solutions. 2 years ago, I'd caught her embezzling $52,000 through fake expense accounts. My evidence led to her arrest, 8 months in jail, and a felony record. This wasn't about my deck, it was revenge. Her campaign escalated. My deck was vandalized, boards sawed, railings loosened, cameras spray-painted black. Clara's tires were slashed with a note, "Mind your own business." Sophie's flower garden was poisoned with bleach, the word traitor painted on her mailbox. My biggest client, representing 40% of my income, suspended our contract after Evelyn filed a detailed licensing board complaint, costing me $6,000 in legal fees. Then came the blackmail, a text from an unknown number with a 15-year-old mugshot from a dismissed arrest I'd thought was sealed. "You have 48 hours to make this right, or everyone knows who you really are," it read. I turned my property into a fortress, 8-foot fences, infrared sensors, floodlights every 10 feet. Rachel filed a restraining order, backed by neighbor testimonies and evidence of Evelyn's fraud. But she didn't stop. One night, I woke to banging from a storm drain near the lake. There was Evelyn, covered in sewage, clutching her soggy clipboard, muttering about environmental inspections. It was pathetic and terrifying. Diane arrived, horrified, and neighbors, instead of mocking her, showed compassion. Sophie brought towels. Mike called a mental health contact. A crisis team evaluated Evelyn, recommending a treatment program for trauma-related disorders. Against Rachel's advice, I dropped the harassment charges if Evelyn entered treatment and left Pinewood Shores. 6 months later, peace returned. My license was cleared. My client reinstated. Evelyn moved 300 miles away, working for a nonprofit helping ex-offenders. Her apology letter was raw and honest, admitting her obsession with revenge and thanking me for forcing her to confront her choices. At a neighborhood barbecue, we celebrated our rebuilt community. But a year later, a package arrived with no return address. Inside was a business card. Evelyn Harper, financial recovery counselor, and a note: I help people like me rebuild. I'm declining a client's housewarming because I've learned to earn what I deserve. Enclosed was evidence suggesting others at TechWave were involved in the embezzlement, potentially clearing Evelyn's name but implicating higher-ups. What would you do if someone who tried to destroy you offered proof that could rewrite the past? Should I reopen a case that might expose corruption but risk my own stability? How do you balance justice with moving on? Drop your thoughts below. I am dying to hear how you'd navigate this mess. And if this story gripped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life dramas that'll keep you on edge.